coordinated today.
Totally coincidental. It was not planned, I promise. We didn't email each other last night.
Complete aside. Sorry, I apologize. We actually have quite a bit of news to get to today, and we're going to start with developing news that there's been another announcement of a big political retirement. Cuyahoga County Executive Armond Budish announced this afternoon he will not be seeking a third term next year.
Mark Namick here now to explain what impact this decision could have on Cuyahoga County. He's been a big player in county politics.
8 years, which is the longest serving county executive under a fairly young government that was, reformed back in 2010. Earlier this year, four-term Mayor Frank Jackson announced he wouldn't seek re-election, which set off a lively race for mayor and opened the door to newcomer Justin Bibb, who takes office in January. Now, County Executive Armond Budish says it's time to step away and let new voices in.
Important public service benefit to bringing in new thoughts, new ideas, people with a different approach. And 8 years is a long time to be the county executive. It's a big job, it's stressful, it's difficult, and it gave me an opportunity to address a lot of different problems that exist, to bring a lot of positive change to the county. 8 years, though, is enough.
During his tenure, he supported the arena deal that keeps the Cavs in town and is backing the renovation of Progressive Field to keep the Guardians here. He also worked to keep Sherwin-Williams in town, but his tenure is marked by management problems and investigations at the county jail, which saw 9 inmate deaths during his tenure, something Budish told me still keeps him awake at night.
I imagine.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes, obviously, with government, the structure of the government. So he was our first executive, and that really is a new way of doing business. So when he says it's stressful and all that, I mean, he really didn't have a guidebook to go by.
I did ask him if he would change anything being there. He followed up short term from Ed Fitzgerald. He said there are changes, and he will push council to make some changes to that when the charter review comes up for that new structure.
So what's next for him?
He will likely be very active in politics. He always has. He raises a lot of money for people, and I think he wants a say in who is his successor. He is part of the traditional band of Democrats, and we're already seeing candidates, both Republican and Democrat, lining up for the seat.
Wow.
While you're here, really want to get your thoughts on the news on the Guardians today. Obviously, we knew that the Cleveland Guardians, the baseball team, were being sued by the Cleveland Guardians roller derby team. They say they had their name first, and they were going to fight to keep it. Today, it was announced in a mutual announcement that both teams, this is interesting, will be known as the Cleveland Guardians. So what's your take on all of this? Likely there was a check written from the baseball team to the roller derby team, but this has a lot to do with timing as well.
Yeah, and there's some context here that you just hit on. The Indians, in their rebuttal to that lawsuit, said, we believe both names can coexist in this city. So that was their play to begin with. Earlier, the Derby said no way, but they came to some agreement. I don't know that we're going to see the roller derby, race the mustard and hot dog around the stadium together, but I do think you will see, that there was a check written that allows them, maybe something with the website. Just about an hour ago, the Cleveland Guardians Derby did officially withdraw that lawsuit or notice of settlement.
Yeah.
So that's
behind them now.
And they're not talking, and the Indians haven't given any more details.
The big news, though, is now the Guardians baseball team can begin selling merchandise ahead of this all-important holiday season.
You've touched on that before, is absolutely what gets in the way. I mean, you've got sponsorship deals with people that carry the Indians. They got to begin all of that stuff. So this is that step. I don't think anybody's shocked, but we now have 2 Guardians in town.
And you might be onto something with the Sugar Dare hot dog race. I mean,
I don't know where Slider fits in this.
You never know. I mean, that could really turn out to be something cool for us. All right. Thanks so much, Mark.
You got it.
Well, now on your feed at 5, we have an important development to tell you about in the fight against COVID-19. Early this afternoon, Pfizer asked U.S. officials to authorize its experimental pill that actually treats people with COVID. Data from trials shows the pill significantly reduces the risk of hospitalization in patients who were fighting the virus. The study also showed the pill reduces the chances of death. Now, if the FDA authorizes it, Pfizer's pill would be a major step towards safely treating COVID at home.
Meanwhile, it's getting a little easier for parents to find a vaccine for children as more time slots open up each day. And local health experts say shots need to get into arms quickly, especially as mask requirements at many schools will soon go away. Brandon Simmons has more now on the changing policies and an important date to consider when it comes to vaccinating your kids.
Remember last year, most students went in school wearing masks as they were required in the classroom. Several districts started this year with mandates as well, but slowly they're easing back, making them optional. Mentor schools announced they have a plan to recommend but not require masks shortly after winter break. But other districts like Parma, Avon Lake, and Coventry schools have decided to make masks optional now. Governor Mike DeWine and local health experts say it's happening too soon.
My recommendation to schools is to keep the mask on, for a few more weeks at least.
Vaccine and then wearing a mask is absolutely the best way to prevent a spread of COVID.
And COVID-19 is still spreading. Aurora Schools reinstituted its mask requirement yesterday after an outbreak in an elementary school last week. But as more vaccines go into the arms of kids ages 5 to 11, more schools will be comfortable dropping mandates. Hudson Schools offered a vaccine clinic for that age group on Friday in partnership with Akron Children's Hospital. Yesterday, its mask requirement also went away, even before kids had a chance to get their second dose.
Give your kids the chance, your younger kids the chance to get vaccinated and then get that second vaccination in 3 weeks.
To date, nearly 71,000 kids ages 5 to 11 have received their first dose, an increase of about 10,000 from the day before. A child isn't considered fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after their second dose, meaning those who start their vaccine regimen by Friday have a chance to be fully vaccinated by Christmas.
Our ticket out of this remains the vaccine. The vaccine is the most important thing.
I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
We move now to developing news from Wisconsin, where a jury is deciding the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse. The then 17-year-old joined a group of other armed volunteers during a social justice protest last August. Rittenhouse is facing 6 counts, including intentional homicide for shooting and killing 2 men and injuring a third during confrontations. He claims the actions were in self-defense. NBC's Jay Gray is live outside the courtroom with the latest developments. Hi, Jay.
Hey there, Betsy, and to set the scene outside, let's take a look at the steps of this courthouse where a crowd has gathered here. They've been here throughout the trial and throughout the day today. A few more than we've seen, though, in the last couple of days here, and they have bullhorns today, so they're getting their message out rather loudly as compared to some of the other days here. Inside, you've got this jury that remains behind closed doors. They went in at 9 o'clock this morning Central Time. They continue to work on this case. They've only asked the judge twice for sheets that contain his instructions and the charges in this case. And so that's all they've asked for. They paused for lunch, but other than that, we have no idea, to be real frank, about what's going on behind those closed doors. You would assume that there's a lot to review. In this case, you had 30 or so witnesses over almost 2 weeks. You had 12 different video captures of the events that happened that night, and they were essential not only to both cases, but both closings as well, so you would think that maybe they're reviewing some of that videotape as well. Again, it's their word that we'll hear now. After all those witnesses, including Kyle Rittenhouse, it's the word of this jury that will determine what happens here. And a lot of people, as you can see behind me and across the nation, really waiting to hear what they have to say, Betsy.
And I think a lot of people are waiting while they're holding their breath at the same time. Certainly a lot to come on this. Thanks so much for the insight, Jay. Next for us here on What's New, technology trackers. We'll tell you the information that your car is taking in and the details that it knows about you.
And then it's a Hogwarts reunion, a special event that's bringing the cast of the Harry Potter movies back together again, and where you can see it. That's all ahead in our Pop Break. Hey, Bets. How's the forecast?
How was that sunshine today? Nice, right? We got to see
Great.
some of that. Well, that will lead us into some chilly temperatures, but here's the trick. Later tonight, the temperatures are going to be going up, and then they'll continue to rise through the day tomorrow, but oh boy, do we have a big change coming Thursday. Got the breakdown straight ahead.
Yes, it is Tech Tuesday. For many of us, our cars is the most complicated and sophisticated machine that we own. It's a rolling brain that controls motion, safety, and a whole lot more.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a fancy car for this to be the way it is.
Not anymore.
Everything's computerized. Well, the added computer technology over the years has also turned our cars into data gathering computers. So what does your car know about you?
Brandon Simmons spoke to experts who say it's time we start paying attention.
It's got a lot of bells and whistles like that. It's got a full web browser. You can watch Netflix, Disney Plus, a lot of those streaming services you can do through the car.
Cars nowadays do much more than get you from point A to point B. They're technological marvels loaded with features to keep you safe, entertained, and make life more convenient.
You're not just getting a car, you're getting a computer on wheels, right? There's so many of these convenience features that once you have them, you can't really live without.
Greg Ferrari bought his Tesla Model S at the turn of the new year. He knew he was getting a great car, but with that purchase, a bit of his privacy goes away.
I'm aware that the car is recording things that I do and sending it back to the mothership, but I guess I don't really get too hung up on it.
The data your car collects about you is known in the industry as telematics. We're not just talking maintenance information, it includes location information, details about your driving habits, including how you brake and accelerate, and even some of the information from your connected mobile device. There's an entire industry built around analyzing and monetizing that information. That's where experts get concerned.
Cars are becoming as connected to the internet and as valuable in terms of the information that they have as your smartphone, your browsing habits, and anything else.
John Callis is Director of Technology for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. He has studied several car brands to see which manufacturers harvest your information.
There are cars that are intimately connected to their manufacturers. The ones that we hear about most are Teslas.
If my wife is out driving the car, I can load the app and see exactly where she is, how fast she's going, what road she's driving down. So it's always connected.
That's information Tesla, the manufacturer, has access to as well. Tesla's privacy policy specifically says it collects information from your device and vehicle, sharing it for marketing purposes. And Tesla isn't alone. GM's OnStar works in a similar way. And some manufacturers like Hyundai have a system that tracks your driving habits with the ability to connect to insurance companies.
They definitely should be upfront about it. No questions about that. Unfortunately, they tend to bury it into a document that's 5 pages long that you have to scroll through.
Most of these services allow you to opt out, but by default, your data is sucked up with everyone else's without you knowing.
The biggest danger really is that we don't know who is using it and for what purposes. And there are entire economies made of selling your data. And we ought to know about it ahead of time rather than find out about it later.
For Greg, the convenience features outweigh privacy concerns. But as manufacturers make cars smarter, they're also learning even more about you. At some point, you may want to draw the line.
While it hasn't gotten to the point yet where it, in my mind, is a huge privacy concern, left unchecked, it may be.
All right. This is something that most of us probably haven't really thought a whole lot about.
Yeah.
We think about our devices and our computers and how they're tracking all that info. Brandon now with us on the set. So let's say someone wants nothing to do with being tracked by anybody.
I know somebody who's like that. She's pointing the finger.
Yeah, I know she is. During the piece, Betsy was like, oh, no.
Oh,
there will be none of that.
I can tell where she
Not
is and how
happening.
fast she's going.
Yeah, how do we opt out of that? How can we opt out?
Yeah, it's different for every car manufacturer. That's the one thing you have to understand. I drive a Hyundai. There's an app, so you can look at it. It shows you your car, shows you your mileage, all those things. But there's also a data privacy section once I get in there. So if I open that up, I'll just show you. I can turn off data sharing. You can see mine's already disabled. Also has insurance notifications because they send it to insurance companies. They offer you cheaper rates. But obviously that means your information is going other places. And what I found out is a lot of us, you end up opting into these programs because you hit agree as soon as you open the app.
So
and you
you're
don't read all
defaulting
that
in,
stuff.
really?
Yeah.
Technically, you're
Pretty
defaulting
much.
in. They say you're not because you've agreed to it, but it's one of those things where we all just typically
No one
click right
reads
past.
all that mumbo jumbo at the
Nobody
beginning.
looks at it, and that's how you get stuck in those programs. But yeah, you have to get out, and it's a little different for every company. Some of them, though, you do have to actually log into an online account, or you may even have to contact the manufacturer and ask them what data are they collecting, where is it going, all of those sorts of things.
This is a hypothetical, but you said that they talk to insurance companies.
Yeah.
What if I'm driving a little faster than I should?
Do you remember the hullabaloo over the black boxes?
Yes,
that
I do.
So
But-
that's
but
where I was thinking,
Is
too.
that going to
Is this
insurance
same
companies
thing?
then?
all of that stuff, all of your driving habits.
They're
So-
insuring the car, so
Yeah.
they have a vested interest in knowing your driving habits.
Of course, yeah. So that's one of in my app, it gives you a driving score. So they look at how fast you brake or how hard you brake, how fast you're going, all of those things, whether you're wearing a seatbelt, all of those little things. You got to remember, your car is a computer, so it's holding a piece of information about every little thing that's happening in the car, just like a black box in an airplane.
Well, I remember when Tiger had his accident in L.A.
Right,
Right.
they were all excited about having that.
Yeah, and they pieced it all together on the black box. They knew how fast he was
That's how they
going,
do
when
it.
he swerved off the road, where he swerved off the road, everything.
I'm going to have to realign my budget completely.
Betsy said in the piece, she said, I'm sticking with my stupid car.
I have a dump car, and I'm proud of it. Absolutely. Base model for
A
me.
lot of used stuff out there. Go find one.
Thanks,
so
B.
much.
Sure thing.
Appreciate it. Boy, that's really insightful, isn't it?
It really is, because you don't think about it,
No.
but everybody's watching everything now.
Isn't that the truth for sure? All right, let me get into the latest on what some of these numbers are telling us as far as the forecast goes. Here's the interesting thing over the next 12 hours. This is overnight. The temperatures are going up, and not just a little. We're talking a significant rise in temperatures by daybreak tomorrow. We'll be about 50 or so as you get your day going. It will be windy, too. You can see the clouds are starting to thicken up, and that's going to continue tonight. We are sitting right now in the upper 30s and low 40s around northeast Ohio. East-southeasterly wind continues, but keep in mind we will bottom out early, and then that rise begins. And as we start the day tomorrow, not only will the temperatures be going up, the wind is going to be picking up as well. Our storm system is sitting up here just north of the border, and that whole warm air feed is headed north as well. So we will continue to see that warming trend tomorrow. Warm front comes through. Big old cold front is coming in on Thursday, and that will be a bit of a game changer for us as we get into the end of the week. Here's the satellite and radar. There's the clouds that we are anticipating to thicken up tonight and increase and stay with us through the day tomorrow. The cold front itself is back here. We won't get the rain from that cold front until Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then temperatures behind the cold front will be falling, and that will eventually change us over to some snow chances. Here is a look at a little bit of a detailed forecast for you for the overnight tonight and as we get into the day tomorrow. We do have those mostly cloudy skies going on for the overnight, and that will continue, but those temperatures are going to be rising. Southeasterly winds will start to pick up to a more southerly direction tomorrow, and that's what will really start to propel the heat. We're going 65, and if we get some sun peaks, we could even be flirting with a 66, but spotty shower chances will be around, especially early in the day. Now, your National Designer on-the-hour forecast, if we pick up from about 50 or so at daybreak, look at how we see those temperatures skyrocket into the mid-60s by mid-afternoon. Then tomorrow night, we're going to hold in the 60s and the 50s, and then by Thursday morning, we will be in the 40s. Check this out, how this is going to go down. This is Tuesday, obviously, today. We'll see the warm air moving in for Wednesday. There is Thursday's cold front. Watch by the time we get into Friday. There's some snow in that forecast, courtesy of the lake, especially early in the day. That will then back out. But are we done yet? No, friends. Look at this batch of frigid air in central Canada and watch what happens to it by the end of the weekend and into early next week. So it's not just one, it is 2 drops that we now have in your Union Home Mortgage forecast. 65 tomorrow, windy with a few shower chances here and there. Temps in the upper 40s early Thursday, then falling into the low 40s. We'll barely make it into the 40s on Friday with some lake snow chances ending. Few clouds on Saturday, nice day for us. Rain moves in on Sunday, heads up for the Browns game, and then another temperature fall is coming our way as we get into Monday. Jay?
Okay, Beth, thanks. Next on What's New, marriage mind changer. We're going to tell you what George Clooney says actually made him shift his thoughts about getting married. That's coming up next in your pop break. Plus, wait until you see this dog's reaction when he believes he hurt his owner by being a little too rough in the playtime. You don't want to miss it. It's our Worth the Watch, and it's coming up.
Oh, okay. That's the one I knew about. That's okay. What's the second one? Okay. Harry Potter though, but I know you can get butterbeer at Universal Studios and that's always very exciting for people. So, okay, good.
There's your music. That means you're going to learn all about entertainment headlines. And Kiara's out today, so our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, here to fill us in on all the entertainment news.
And what is this that you're telling us about Kevin Stefanski? Oops, I mean George Clooney.
I can see where you mixed that up. Absolutely, I can.
Are they? Do they look similar?
Very similar.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
They do. They have a very similar vibe. But we are talking about George Clooney today, and he is giving us all the details about his marriage. The 60-year-old actor and filmmaker is opening up about what some of the things involved with being married to human rights attorney Amal and their style of parenting. Last night on a podcast called WTF with Mark Maron, Clooney was talking about how he never wanted to get remarried or have any kids. But you know what they say, feelings can change when the right person comes along. So Clooney said he, quote, knew from the minute I met her that everything was going to be different and that they decided together to have kids to share their love after getting married in 2014. The two ended up with double the love when Amal gave birth to twins in 2017.
Do you really have the scar? Wicked.
Mr. President.
Harry Potter lovers are feeling all the nostalgia today because exactly 20 years ago, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone hit theaters. Yeah, 2 decades ago. Now, 2 decades later, the wizard trio Harry, Ron, and Hermione are dropping a special on the small screen on HBO Max. It's called Harry Potter 20th Anniversary Return to Hogwarts. And it drops on New Year's Day. That is only 46 days away, people, so that's not a lot of time to catch up on all 8 Harry Potter movies, but you can do it. They are all on HBO Max, and I'll tell you what, I might just have to get in that group because I need to get caught up on my Harry Potter. I've not seen it.
20 years, though.
Yeah.
That blows me away. It does not seem like it's been 20 years.
I know. And it's still just as much of a fanfare as it was back then. People love it. They're still so passionate about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a chord that the author struck. And what does she have now, like $100 gajillion from these books
I
and
think
movies?
that's a safe
I
estimate.
remember
yeah.
she wrote all of them from little scraps of
Yes!
paper that she wrote notes down on and all that stuff.
amazing.
And there's weather references in there, too.
Oh, something for the meteorologist
Thank you
crowd.
so much, Stephanie.
Thanks.
Well, today's Worth the Watch is about a dog owner playing a trick on their German Shepherd. She pretended that the dog biting her actually hurt her, and the reaction is so sweet. Watch this. Oh. He's like, I saw you. Oh, poor little baby. Like, have you ever done that with your dogs? They're playing or something and you startle them?
Here's what I notice about my dogs. Anytime I'm in any kind of discomfort or pain, they are so dialed in and they just want to come and lick your hand and make sure you're okay. And I think for kids, there's no better dog than a German Shepherd. So attentive and just so protective. The last thing they ever want is one of their people to be injured in any way. And that look is just priceless.
Their little, he put himself in timeout after that, probably.
Pretty cool.
So cute. All right, well, we've all noticed the gas prices are going up again, and right before the holiday, too. We'll tell you when we could see some relief on the horizon.
And dangerous debris. We're going to tell you what had astronauts aboard the International Space Station ducking for cover, and also who's behind it. This is a crazy story.
It was a very crazy story. And in need of some extra cash this holiday season, one lucky viewer's chance to play live to win $1,000 is just ahead. Stay with us. Wave, everybody. Hey!
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We begin at 5:30 with three things you need to know. First, we have new details on the debate over which Cleveland team will use the name Guardians. This morning, in a joint statement, the baseball team and roller derby team said they've come to a resolution where they will both use the name moving forward. Details on that resolution were not released, but it likely included the baseball Guardians writing a check to the roller derby Guardians. The roller derby team had filed a lawsuit last month over the baseball team using the name, and the process for that whole thing to litigate itself out could have greatly hindered the baseball team from selling that all-important holiday merchandise that fans are so anxious to get their hands on.
In other news, detectives are searching for answers in the death of a 91-year-old woman in South Euclid. Her body was found near bushes outside of an apartment complex across the street from her home. Essie Mae Henry's body was found on November 4th. Police first called her death suspicious, and then a medical examiner later confirmed her death was a homicide. Police say they found bumps and bruises on her body when they arrived on scene.
Anytime there's a loss of life, it's unacceptable, but 91-year-old woman, it's troubling, very concerning.
Police say Henry was found near a very busy street, and someone may have seen or heard something, or possibly recovered any items that can help point to what happened. Police say a $5,000 reward is being offered for information that leads them to the person responsible.
Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, a jury is deliberating right now in a Kyle Rittenhouse case. The then 17-year-old joined a group of other armed volunteers during a social justice protest. This was last August. The protest was in response to the police shooting of Jacob Blake, who is now paralyzed from the waist down. Rittenhouse faced 6 counts, including intentional homicide for shooting and killing 2 men and injuring a third during confrontations. He claims his actions were in self-defense. We're continuing to monitor the deliberations, and we'll bring you a verdict as soon as it is in, either here on WKYC TV or at WKYC.com. Tensions very high outside the courtroom there in Kenosha. In fact, earlier this week, the governor of Wisconsin deployed 500 National Guard troops in the event that things get disruptive after a jury comes to a conclusion in this case.
Yeah, a lot of
people
watching
closely.
A lot of people across the country watching this
Absolutely.
case.
Yeah. With that, we welcome you into the second half hour of What's New. Along with Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford.
And I'll tell you what, we have not one, but 2 blue arrows on the 7-day forecast. If you didn't catch it before, we'll have another update for you coming up in about 12 minutes.
All right, very good. We wait for that. In the meantime, on to our top talker at 5:30. If you plan on traveling by car for Thanksgiving, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be paying more at the pump. Some states are now seeing record high gas prices. You think it's bad here? Listen to this. In California, the average price for a regular gallon of gasoline is $4.68.
No.
I know. That's according to the American Automobile Association. A year ago, that price was $3.17, so you can see how dramatically these increases have hit us. According to AAA, the national average is $3.41. Here in Ohio, we're paying $3.25 on average for a gallon of gas, which, believe it or not, is actually 3 cents cheaper than our average just a week ago. But the question that everyone wants answered, when will we finally begin to see some major relief at the gas pumps?
It's hard to catch back up. And it's going to take time. And unfortunately, we may not see sizable relief in the price of oil until 2022. By then, OPEC's production increases will have amounted to another 1.5 million barrels a day.
Well, that's the good news. OPEC is increasing their oil production. Bad news, though, it doesn't help right now.
No.
You know, there's always a trickle down. It takes time to get from the ground to the barrels, shipping, and over here. So we're not going to feel that for a while. But
Well, you weren't living here in 2011, but in 2011, that's when Ohio hit record high gas prices. We were over $4 a gallon here.
Wow.
And it completely changed the way people live their lives for that amount of time, because that really disrupts your budgeting.
You cut out the frivolous trips.
And there's no frivolous trips. You know, the grocery shopping was very different. Everybody kind of like backed off a little bit, and it was, how am I going to make all of this work? It was really difficult.
Well, hopefully this will come back down to more normal prices. I mean, it's hard to believe, but just a year ago, we were paying more than $1 a gallon less than we are right now. And that adds up. That's something that impacts all Americans. We all drive, we all buy gas, and we all feel this huge price increase.
Well, the other big talker today, and this is so fascinating, it's coming from the International Space Station. Astronauts had a very stressful day and have been on high alert since yesterday, when Russia fired an anti-satellite missile at one of its own satellites during a weapons test. Well, it destroyed the satellite. As a matter of fact, it sent thousands of dangerous pieces of debris into orbit. Now, keep in mind, the space station circles the Earth every 90 minutes, moving at more than 17,000 miles per hour. If it would collide with even the smallest piece of debris, it would have the impact of almost 10 times the force of a bullet. So that would pierce potentially the shell. Astronauts went into their docked capsules yesterday in case they had to make an emergency escape. Luckily, everything ended up being okay. But keep in mind, that debris is not going anywhere, and there is more and more and more debris. It is locked in that part of the orbit at that altitude because of gravity and the way it is all breaking up. There's nothing that's going to go and scoop it up and clean the roads off a little bit. We need a space plow, right?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Make everything move. Well, the U.S. has condemned the test. They're going to be working with allies to respond to Russia's actions. The debris could be in orbit not only for years, but even for decades and beyond.
Yeah, it's super dangerous, as you know. And there is an obligation that nations have, particularly superpowers, developed nations, that they have here on Earth, that we all play by the same rules.
Right.
We're all sharing this planet. Well, now that we're all sharing space, being a good citizen is also important there. And this violates that very notion of being a good citizen in the space you share.
It definitely does.
A responsibility comes with this. Hopefully, it's not going to impact the International Space Station or the other pieces of satellite technology and everything.
China has a space station
China's up there as well, yeah. Yesterday, we showed you how to make Betsy's mom's Thanksgiving stuffing. Betsy loves this. And since we're just about a week away now from the holiday season, we decided that we will share some other recipes, some of our other famous recipes from the rest of our team. If you watch this show, it's our old show, Lunch Break. You may remember my wife, Tracy, came in and she showed us how to make her sweet potato casserole. So that is my absolute favorite part of Thanksgiving. It tastes like dessert, for crying out loud.
This is why.
It's so good. That's why I love it.
Anti-nutrition.
Yeah, don't think that you're going to stay fit eating a whole lot of this. That's why I only eat it twice a year. We have the recipe up on your screen there. If it's too small and it's gone too fast, we also have it posted on our website, WKYC.com. Don't ask me anything that's in it. I've never made it. I've only enjoyed eating it.
3 cups of sugar and 9 sweet potatoes.
You know what? My wife told me today, actually, the real recipe actually calls for more sugar. She cuts it way down.
Wow.
Because obviously you don't need that much.
Just throw some marshmallows on the top.
It's so, yeah, you might as well. And so that's a picture from last Thanksgiving. Of course, it's a little tight. There's the dish there on the right there of that first plate.
What a beautiful table.
I'm telling you, I absolutely.
How much does Corey eat?
Corey can kill an entire plate of this stuff. Yeah, he's a big eater.
He was training for the Olympics still at this point.
Yeah, so he's very fit and thin there. He probably didn't eat any of it for that Thanksgiving. But I'm telling you, if you're looking for a new dish to try this Thanksgiving, check it out on the website. It's so good.
And sweet potatoes are a really great way to introduce potatoes to kids. They don't always like mashed potatoes, but sweet potatoes, for whatever reason, they're magical.
Well, the word sweet tricks them.
There it is.
It must be good.
Yeah, I put a little extra something in there. All right, still ahead, new words from OBJ. What he says he never intended to do before heading out west. That's ahead and clicking in Cleveland.
A lot of funny memes today about
that guy.
OBJ with the Rams. But first, how does an extra $1,000 sound ahead of the holidays? Who couldn't use that, right? One lucky viewer is going to get the chance to play live to win that amount of money in Giant Eagle gift cards. That is just minutes away. We can't wait for that.
And we'll take a look at the forecast, too. Look at this sunset. That is a live picture from our CSU cam. And you can see we still have some breaks in the overcast. We will see more clouds tonight. We will see more clouds tomorrow. We get some rain Thursday, snow by Friday. That's just drop number 1 that's coming. I have the details straight.
It's like a postcard.
Isn't it beautiful? Well, we made it to 47 this afternoon thanks to that sunshine. We started the day, though, at 29 degrees. Hard freeze for Cleveland. And as far as the averages this time of the year go, average high is 51. We will be trending below average as we look into the extended forecast. We are looking windy and warm for the day tomorrow, but Thursday, we're going down. And then Monday, we're going down again. So that's the blue arrows in the forecast. We're talking about the temperatures and the change from rain to snow will be coming in too. National Design Mart on the hour forecast for tomorrow. That's the easy peasy day. We will get some sun peaks in here. Temperatures will be in the mid 60s. Windy conditions will be with us too. So if you have plans to do the leaves tomorrow, either take the wind into account or just let them go because you're not going to be able to override gusting winds to 30 miles per hour. That would be the area ahead of the cold front. The cold front is sitting back out here into the plain states. You can see this big swirl. Check that out. That's the potency of this thing. It's huge. And as the storm system swings through the Great Lakes region, it'll drop that cold front in here, and it is coming from an area, the source region in central Canada. There's some darn cold air sitting in central Canada right now. That will be swinging in behind this storm system. So that's why things are going to be dropping as we get into the day on Thursday. So let's take a look at the big picture, kind of keep it on the greater scale here. The front will be coming into Ohio Thursday morning, probably, I don't know, maybe the 7 to 10 a.m. time frame. I may have to adjust that back a little bit, but it does look like we will start Thursday with rain. It'll get gusty, and then by the end of the day Thursday, that cold air is pouring in, and on Friday, we will be downright chilly. We will struggle to make it back into the 40s after an afternoon in the 30s, but we're also going to have some lake effect snow showers to contend with. Now, because of this time of the year, we kind of get the whippy nature of our jet stream pattern. Watch that cold air sitting up here in Canada once again, because through the weekend, our temperatures moderate somewhat, but then we unleash another big area of very cold air in central Canada Sunday. That starts to move south very quickly, and by Monday and Tuesday, we will have another swat of cold air that is coming in. And it's all shown in your Union Home Mortgage forecast, the 60s with wind tomorrow, leading into the 40s. Now we're going to start Thursday close to 50 degrees, and then the temperatures drop. We will hopefully make it out of the 30s on Friday. So we re-rack it all. Beautiful day Saturday. I'll be a little cool. Rain chances back in the forecast on Sunday. Hello, Browns fans. And then once again, mid and upper 40s on Monday with falling temperatures. That's going to kick off more lake snow. And right now it looks like the second batch of air is going to be the colder one. The second cold batch is colder than the first. So by Tuesday, we don't make it out of the 30s, and we've got some freezing temperatures setting up. So it is the season. You know, we knew it was coming most certainly, but when it really starts to happen fast like that, it hurts.
Yeah, especially when just was a week and change ago, it was in the 60s. It was beautiful. I saw 20s in there.
There's a lot of those.
All right, time now to give another lucky viewer the chance to win my perks from Giant Eagle leading up to Thanksgiving. A pre-selected viewer each day will get to answer a trivia question. If they get it wrong, the amount increases by $500 and rolls over to the next day during our 6 a.m. hour of Go. Then again, if they get it wrong, add another $500 for the What's New question.
Just keep getting bigger and bigger. So we turn now to Deborah Garner from East Cleveland, who is joining us live. Deborah, this morning, our viewer on Go got the question wrong. So you have a chance to play for $1,000 in Giant Eagle perks. Are you ready?
Yes.
How you feeling? You feeling pretty good, Deborah?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, you look marvelous. I love the Ohio State sweatshirt. That's a great look. Here we go. Cleveland is famous for having the first amusement park, shopping mall, commercial airport, or public golf course.
Oh, boy.
Read it back to me again.
Okay, I sure will. Cleveland is famous for having the first amusement park, shopping mall, commercial airport, or public golf course. What do you think?
Shopping mall.
Oh, Deborah, you're $1,000 in Giant Eagle gift cards richer.
You got it!
And here comes the family. Oh, Deborah, we are so happy for you. Dude, that is fantastic.
Thank you.
The Arcade Cleveland opened in 1890.
It's beautiful.
That was, and it's still in business, obviously. That was the first shopping mall ever. Deborah, how much Is that $1,000 in gift cards going to help you this Thanksgiving season?
It's going to help a lot. It's going to fun Thanksgiving dinner for the whole family.
All right, that's wonderful. I think your turkey might have got just a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger?
Yeah, go for the biggest one they got, Deborah. You deserve it.
The kids are going to be getting bags of Oreos for Christmas. I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving, most certainly. Well, congratulations to you, Deborah. Great job today. We really appreciate you playing along with us.
That's so fun. I love it when they win.
Thank you.
I love it when they win. She's clearly very excited, and with good reason. If you want to enter for a chance to play, you can head to WKYC.com/contests. We're giving away $10,000 in Giant Eagle gift cards over the next 6 days. So we'll have a new contestant each day here on What's New at 5:45 and also in the morning on Go at 6:45 a.m.
Oh, man, that's so exciting.
Fun.
All right. Next on What's New, retailers are dropping their Black Friday deals. What to be on the lookout for to snag the best savings this season?
Then, Props for Paws. This is an awesome program helping to feed hundreds of local pets in animal shelters. We're going to tell you how it works and what goes into it. It's coming up in today's Show Us Something Good. You'll want to stick around for that.
Mike, check. My dad is a real petty Browns fan. He will not go to the game.
Coming up on 5:52, that means it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Jay. All right, he's not saying much, but Odell Beckham Jr. is calling his Browns breakup one-sided. ESPN's Lisa Salter, who was the sideline reporter during OBJ's debut with the Los Angeles Rams last night, says she talked to him on the phone Sunday night and that the whole release was wild to him. He reportedly told her, "I don't have words for it. It stinks. It was never intended." So he's saying he didn't purposely get released from the Browns. He also said he doesn't blame anyone and he enjoyed his time here. He did seem excited to go to LA though on social media, so that's where that stands. Now let's focus on the future, shall we? Black Friday is coming up and Walmart just dropped its 20-page ad full of sales. Prices get cut on all sorts of things, starting online only on Monday, November 22nd. Walmart's in-store sales are coming up on Friday, November 26th, and those sales run through Sunday, November 28th. Walmart already had 2 sales this month, so this will be the final Black Friday sale, and you can find that full ad linked on WKYC.com. Okay, this story of a grandma and an unrelated young man gets better every year. Jamal Hinton and Wanda Detch, who he calls Grandma Wanda, will be celebrating their 6th Thanksgiving together this year. They got together in 2016 after Wanda accidentally sent him a text asking about Thanksgiving plans, and he said, "Who is this?" Wanda texted, "Your grandma." So Jamal said, "Okay, send a photo." And when she did, he sent one back and said, "Not my grandma, but can I come through anyway?" Wanda said, "Of course." And the rest is history. And obviously the internet has just absolutely been loving this.
Yeah.
When they get together every year, those reunion photos go wild. I just love that this started because Grandma Wanda is a bad texter.
Yeah, I do too. I can see how that happens. But what a great story. We've all done it.
Yep.
You know?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Miss one little number, goes to somebody else. Oops.
Yeah.
Usually so fun.
Can I come through anyway?
And so 2 families become connected. Awesome.
I love it.
Thanks so much.
That's
Stephanie.
great.
Next on What's New, Feeding Pets in Need. It is an awesome program, and we'll tell you about it coming up in our Show Us Something Good.
Hi, Al. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Everybody just pushes their stuff down. Hey, Al, how are you? You got me? Noting the changes coming to City Hall. All right.
Hello. Yes, I'm Annie Abraham here in South Euclid talking about a woman who was found dead in bushes.
Then all of a sudden, Cooper remembers everything. Yes, you hear me? I'm on the ground and the body's on top of him.
Number 5. I do, Cleveland. Hello, hello.
Okay, today's Show Us Something Good comes from Kent Props for Paws. Here's what this is. It's an outreach program at Kent State Airport. They wrapped up their 9th collection recently.
That's right. They collect pet food and they donate it to places like the Humane Society of Summit County and the Portage County APL. 3 News photojournalist Kelly Matter was there as they delivered more than 9,600 cans of food.
So this is our annual Props for Paws, which is led by Kent State University Airport and a volunteer of ours, Jim Sebastian. They work very hard on this year-round to collect money and food for the animals. So it's just people that they talk to and students from the university, and they just get the word out in numerous ways and ask for donations of food and money, and this is what it results in. Today will be over 6,700 pounds of food and it's almost 9,400 cans of food, which really helps us with our animals. It's phenomenal, it really is. They've been doing this for several years. This will top the 51,000 pounds of food that they have raised through this event alone. We're just so very thankful for all of the support and all that they do, and for Jim and Kent State to head this up every year. It's really a phenomenal thing.
Cool as that. And that happy puppy out there.
A lot of them.
Loving that food, certainly.
That's right. Thanks so much for watching What's New. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we invite you to join us then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Lena starts right now.
Now at 6, murder investigation.
91-year-old woman, it's troubling, very concerning.
A shocking crime in South Euclid, an elderly woman beaten to death. Amanda Abraham will have the latest. Also, jury deliberations. After 2 weeks of testimony in the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial, jurors in Kenosha, Wisconsin now have the case. A live report coming up. Not running again.
8 years is a long time to be the county executive. It's a big job. It's stressful.
Armond Budish, the long-serving Cuyahoga County executive, makes a decision about his political future. Mark Namick spoke with him one-on-one. And new COVID treatment. In what may be the next medical breakthrough in the pandemic, a drug company is asking the government to fast-track its new COVID treatment. This one, a pill.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Lena Lai. Tonight, detectives are searching for answers in the murder of a 91-year-old woman in South Euclid.